Alright guys, how's it going? So this is Josh with TechZoneUK, and hopefully this is going to be the last video of our setting up a Windows 2012 server. So basically, so far just a recap, we've installed Active Directory and domain services, so that's Active Directory and DNS, and we've installed DHCP, we've configured our server to have a static IPv4 address and given it a name, and we've also set up a scope in DHCP to be 192.168.20 all the way up to .254, which will give us 234 IP addresses. So in this video we're going to be looking at connecting a Windows 7 client to a domain, and then look at our DHCP and see obviously what it's given it, and then we'll have a look at a bit of Active Directory, setting up group policy, and setting up users and permissions and things like that. Okay, so here I have a Windows 7 32-bit Windows 7 Enterprise. Now to connect a computer to a domain, you need to have Windows 7 Pro or up. It doesn't work in Windows Vista Starter or Windows 7 Home. You need Pro, Ultimate, or Enterprise. And basically, to connect a computer to the domain, first thing you need to do is right click on here and go Open Network and Sharing Center. Click on Local Area Network Connection here. Go to Properties and go to IPv4, and we're going to change the DNS server to the one we specified with our server. So we have 192.168.1.10 as our DNS server. This just helps it easier to find the domain. If you don't have that, it'll probably still join it, but it's just probably 75% of the time it doesn't really like it. But if you put that in, it will know exactly where the server is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to change advanced setting. Oh no, we're not. We're going to go back to Control Panel and then go to System and Security, System, and then we're going to go to Advanced System Settings. You know I said about changing computer name. Looks very similar in window. We're going to hit change again, but we're going to go to domain and we're going to change this to jtt.local or whatever you called your domain. Now we're going to hit OK, and as you can see, to join this computer to that domain we need to have a username and password. In our case, we're just going to put in the password and username for the administrator account. You need to use any administrator account really. No, I'm just using the standard Windows Server 2012 administrator account. But once you do that, hit OK. It should say welcome to the domain. Wait for it. Like that. Welcome to the jtt.local domain. Hit OK. And it's going to want to restart our computer. So what we're going to do is I'm going to restart the computer now, and then I'll show you what it does. Now what I just did is restarted the client machine, and what you can see now is it's actually asking us to press Ctrl-Alt-Delete to log on, which is obviously completely different to what it used to be, where you used to be able to click your username, log on, or enter your password. So I'm going to insert Ctrl-Alt-Delete here, and as you can see that it's trying to go into user-pc/user. Now this is basically trying to log into the normal user account. We don't want it to do that. We've just joined the PC to the domain. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit switch user, and we're going to go other user here, and as you can see that it's now saying log on to JTT, which is the domain we want it to use. So basically we need to have an account to log on. Now I could quite easily just type in the administrator account here, and as you can see that it's changed on to log on to user-pc. So what we need to do is type in JTT / our username, and then it will let us log on, but I'll show you. It will change in a minute, but I'll show you what I mean. But what we need to do really is create a new account for our user. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up our server just here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to Tools and then Active Directory Users and Computers, and here what we're going to do is we're going to create a new organizational unit, and basically we're going to right click on here and we're going to go New OU, organizational unit, and I'm going to call this additional users, and I'm going to hit OK. And now in this folder I'm going to create two new users, and I'm going to call in this additional unit I'm going to create a new OU, and I'm going to call this super users, and just normal. Oh, why do I keep going user? I need to go to new OU users. As you can see, we got additional users, super users, and users. Now, I know in here in Active Directory there already is a folder full of users, but this gets confusing. I like to separate mine. There's nothing wrong with doing this, having super users and users. Nothing wrong with it at all. Just having all these in one place can get distracting. There's a lot of them. Don't delete them. Just keep them where they are. They can come in handy sometimes. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to create two new users. We're going to create a super user. And we're going to create just a normal bog standard user that basically won't have any permissions, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's create our super user here. So let's click on the super user OU, and I'm going to create a new user. Right. First name, I'm just going to create, I might just call this Josh Techie. Initials the. Full name Josh the Techie. And logon name, I'm just going to use as Josh. We've got what we're going to do is we're going to hit next, and as you can see, we can change this to user must change the password next logon. This is really good, and I like using this at work because if I'm setting up a server or setting up Active Directory users for a business, and say they've got maybe 5, 6, up to 10 employees maybe, I will then write on a sticky note their username and make the password maybe like @orange and then the year, so that way you've got a symbol, letters, maybe a capital O for orange, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase, and numbers. So basically it makes the password really secure, and I'll do that for all the users, and then they can then I'll tick the box user must change password and next log on to obviously a password that they want to use. So I'm going to create the password for this at capital O RANGE 2013, and do it again at ORANGE 2013, and that's about right. So user must change password next login. I'll show you that in a minute. Hit next and finish. So this is our super user account. So at the moment this is just a normal type of user. If he wanted to log on, he would have to try and access administrative stuff. So when the UAC came up, he would have to enter in a administrative account because he's not actually an admin yet. We've just made a folder called super users and just placed a new user in there. He has no rights or anything like that. So to get rights, what we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to go properties, and then we're going to go to where are we? Member of, and click add, and then we're going to go administrator, and then click OK. And as you can see, look, we're in the administrators group. So then we get apply, OK. So now he's a user or a admin account, or should be anyway. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to change back to our Windows 7 machine, and we're going to try and log on now. So we're going to switch user. Once you log on once to the domain, this user won't ever come up again. It should just come up with their username. So the username for JTT was Josh, and the password was capital at ORANGE 2013. Log on, and as you can see, it says the user's password must be changed before logging on the first time. So we're going to hit OK, and we're going to enter in our new password, which I'm going to make the same password as the server. Don't do that whatever you do, because obviously if someone finds out, you don't want them knowing the password for the server. As you can see, password's changed. Click OK, and now what this is going to do is prepare their desktop, and then it's then going to let us use the computer as a admin user. So once this is done, which it should be done any minute, there we go. You can see it comes up here, comes up with our network. We've got internet access, and we go open network sharing center, user here, go properties. It's actually asking for username and password, and then if we enter in our username here, you can see now we have administrative access. So our account is an admin basically. I think that would have worked the first time with the administrative account. For some reason I didn't try, having a bit of mental blank. So basically that now works. So obviously when we want to try and access administrative things, that's fine. we're basically an administrator of the whole network. So if we want to go CMD, for example, and run as administrator, it's basically wanting our username and password, because it's a try and run it as an admin. So it's making sure you want to do it basically. So now we have a administrator account. So here's our super user administrator, and what we're going to do now is we're going to just create a normal new user. So we're going to go user, and I'm just going to call this one Techie, and his username logon is going to be Techie as well. And to cut things short, I'm just going to set him a normal password. I don't want to have to reset it. I was just showing that before, for example. So there we go, and hit next and finish. So now we have a user that's Techie, and we have a user that is Josh the Techie. So the difference is this is an admin account, and this one here is just a normal user account. So now, say for example, well, we're obviously a super user on Josh the Techie account. We don't want normal users, obviously if we had 10 users here, we don't want our users to be able to, tell you what, let's create a little notepad of things we don't want our users to do. So we don't want them to access CMD, access Task Manager, because, you know, that's bad. We want them to, what the little permission can we put in there? We'll come up with a few. So what we'll do is I'll first of all show you how to stop access to command prompt and stop access to Task Manager. So in our server we need to close out of Active Directory, and we need to go to Tools and then go to Group Policy Management. And basically group policy is, well, it's basically like a group and policy. You'll see what I mean. So if we go to a forest here, expand that, you can see we got domains, jtt.local, and we got our account we created here, additional users, and then we got domain controllers, and we got group policy objects, and then yeah, you see what I mean. So basically what we want to do is apply a group policy object to our users account, because our super users are administrators. We don't really want to put any lockdown on them. I mean, if you could have super users, and then you could have admin users, which have slightly locked down permissions, and then users we're going to lock down completely. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click users, and we're going to go create a GPO, which is a group policy object in this domain, and link it here. So we're going to click that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this user GPO, and we hit OK. And what we're going to do is we're going to, this is the basically, as you can see, we've got our users. So in Active Directory, when we expanded our users, we had Techie as our username, right? This little thing here, which is a group policy object, is basically like a list of allows and disallows. That's pretty much all it is. And this is linked to this folder. So basically any users we put into this folder will be affected by this little little thing here. So let's right click this and go edit. And this is where we can actually start to put together our do's and don'ts. So for example, if we go to policies, we can go to software settings, and we could send out a software installation. So this would have to be a .msi file, but say you had like 50 machines and you wanted to send out a file that was in .msi, you could then add a package to this. As you see, it has to be .msi, and then install it on those 50 machines without even having to do it one by one. So there we go, we've got some Windows settings here, but then we've got administrative templates, and then we've got preferences. So basically administrative templates is where we want to sit, because it's got everything that we want to do. So basically let's have a look. So first things first, we want to disable Task Manager, command prompt. So this would come under System, I believe, and then is it Control-Alt-Delete, and then as you can see it says remove task, or let me think. Here we've got remove Task Manager. So when a user does Control-Alt-Delete, we don't want them to see Task Manager. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click on this, and we're going to hit enabled, and we're going to hit apply, and then OK. So basically what this is doing is when the user presses Control-Alt-Delete, Task Manager won't be in that list, if you see what I mean. You know, when you go to Control-Alt-Delete, it says Run Task Manager, Log Off, Switch User and things like that. Task Manager won't be in that list, we've removed it. And say we could not want people to lock their computers, so we could change that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Windows Components, and as you can see we have loads of different components here. Not really any that we need to worry about at the moment, so I'm going to minimize that one. All settings. This basically covers all these settings in one little list here. So as you can see, we got absolutely loads of them. So as you can see, look here, we've got prevent access to the command prompt, so we're definitely going to enable that. We don't want people being able to access the command prompt at all. Prevent access to registry editing tools, don't want that. There's literally so much stuff you can do here. Prevent changes to the start menu and taskbar. This would take probably ages to go through. However, you know, going through here, just making sure that obviously all the little bits you don't want your users to be able to do, and this list pretty much goes through every single thing you can do in Windows. So you know, just go through this list, find anything that you don't want your users to do, and obviously look here, look, we got remove task manager, that's enabled. So yeah, what we're going to do now is we're going to close out of group policy and close out of this, and we're going to get our PC here and we're going to restart it. What restarting does is there's a thing called, if you're doing group policy, you can do something called in the command prompt called gp update /force if you have to, or just gp update. And basically what that will do is if you do group policy changes and you're testing out like we are, you could then do group policy gp update, and then it'll pull the update and apply it instantly to your account without having to do a restart. But obviously in this case it just makes things easier if we can just do a little restart here. So as you can see, waiting for this to log on, and then Control-Alt-Delete. Let's just go techie and then log on to that user, because that's the one we applied the group policy to. Why didn't I even think about that? So as you can see, let's preparing our desktop. So here's our desktop here. So first thing, let's try to access CMD. Oh no, CMD. Oh, there is no CMD, is there? All programs, accessories, command prompt. The command prompt has been disabled by your administrator. Oh, okay then. What about if we try to go to Task Manager? Oh, we can't. Okay, let's try and create a new folder. Okay, that works. I don't know why that's worked on the desktop. Okay, that's a bit odd. What else did we try? So if we go to insert Control-Alt-Delete, there you go, there's no Task Manager on here, so you can't open Task Manager. What else did we do? If you go to your server and go to ADDS management, Active Directory users and computers. Oh no, sorry, my bad. Group policy. You can then click this thing here and go over settings, and basically what this will do, I'll add this here. Basically what this will do is show you all the configurations that you've done on your on that group policy object. So what we've done here, look, group disabled display control panel. So let's try that. Personalize. Look, we can't change any of the Windows themes. That's disabled, which is good. That was one of the group policies. Display. Some settings are managed by your system administrator, so we can't change those settings, which is good. So group policy looks like it's working. Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. Prohibit adding items on the desktop. This setting removes new button from the web tab in display in control panel. As a result, users cannot add web pages or pictures from the internet or an intranet to the desktop. Okay, I see. This setting removes the delete button from the web tab. Okay, I see. That's some more web usage. Prevent changes to taskbar and start menu settings. So let's have a look, see if we can do that. So right click properties. This has been stopped by your system administrator. So basically, I pretty much proved the point. Group policy basically sets a massive disables pretty much everything on our user or our group that we set up, and you can lock down. So obviously go through everything and check that there's nothing you want to do. But like I said, it just allows you to lock down all your users from doing certain things and changing with the windows and stuff like that. So it's quite a good idea. But basically, that's pretty much it really on group policy, and pretty much the end of adding our clients to the PC. So that's, like I said, it on the series. I'm going to continue on by showing you how to set up things like a VPN. So if you're if the the managers or the customer employees want to take home their laptops and they want to be able to access the network from home, I'm going to show you how to set up a VPN so that they can access the server still on their PC, even if the server's in a different location. So that's going to be quite good. So sorry if this video has been a bit long, but that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more of this series, then subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, then press like, and if you've got any feedback or anything like that, then just drop a comment below and I'll try my best to answer it. So thank you very much for watching. Take care.